All right, guys, let's move on to our next bit of movie news. And this is confusing, maybe a little, to say the least. As we all know, Zack Snyder has been working on the Snyder Cut of... excuse me. I just realized I don't have a beverage sitting right next to me. I have a pen. I thought something looked off today. Zack Snyder has been working on the Snyder Cut of the Justice League. And as was announced at DC Fandom a few months ago, I think it was back in August, I think is when Fandom was. There was a big, huge hubbub, a big, huge hullabaloo to say that, the Snyder Cut version of Justice League is going to be 4 hours long. It's going to come out on HBO Max in 1 hour episodes. So it's, 4 episodes, 1 hour per episode, 4 hours long. And details have started emerging that there are things that he is putting into this that he didn't have in his original draft. Even when he cut and put together kind of like his 4 hour Snyder Cut version, there are things that he was like, you know what, let's add this in. If we're going to do it, let's just add more content, right? The budget originally for this thing was going to be around $30 million. And then when I think like press agencies started asking Warner Brothers about it, and they're like, how much is this? Is it going to be $30 million? Are you paying $30 million to produce the Snyder Cut? Warner Brothers execs were like, oh man, we wish it was $30 million. That'd be nice. Turns out it's upwards of $70 million. $70 million just to make this thing. And estimates are saying it's actually probably going to be a little bit more. And this is one of the reasons. Jared Leto is coming back to reprise his role as the Joker. So I think that's bit of movie news number one in this scenario. Jared Leto is coming back to reprise his role as the Joker. That was never in the original script. That's not something that Zack Snyder ever planned for. But it's happening. Now, as this particular article points out, and I think it bears mentioning, this article comes from Bloody Disgusting. Zack Snyder was interviewed on, there's another YouTuber named Grace Randolph. She interviewed Zack Snyder. In fact, the whole interview, here, let me just scroll down to it. There's the interview right there. I mean, if you go over to Grace Randolph's channel, you can watch the full interview. It's a 30-minute interview where she just talks to him about his involvement in the Snyder Cut, like some of his other projects. They go into detail about Jared Leto and like how that whole thing came to be. And Zack Snyder basically says he never intended for there to be a Joker in the Justice League movie. But now that they're doing a 4-hour thing, he's decided, hey, here's an aspect of the story that could benefit from having the Joker in it. Okay, cool. And as this particular article points out, the look of the Joker is going to change. The look of the Joker is going to change slightly. Let's jump into the article just a little bit. I don't want to go too deep, but right here, one of the things that Zack Snyder said, let me highlight this for you. He says, I wanted to, of course, honor what had been created with him, speaking of Jared Leto, or rather of the Joker, because I thought it was really cool. But I also felt like, well, I'm not going to tell you what happens in this little scene, but there is some water has gone under the proverbial bridge the last time we saw Joker, and this appearance, he's a road-weary Joker. I guess that's a way of saying it. So I think that's the biggest description that we have for this version of the Joker so far, is that he's a road-weary Joker. What does that mean? He's a road-weary Joker. I think we're going to see a very similar concept of Jared Leto's Joker in this film, or version, television show, limited series, whatever we're calling it. But But I also think that Zack Snyder is going to try and change ever so slightly, not go in a completely different direction. I think they're going to keep a lot of similar aspects to the Suicide Squad version of the Joker, directed by David Ayer. I think they're going to keep a lot of elements from that, but kind of update it. I mean, since that movie came out in 2016, so already 4 years has gone by. By the time this thing comes out next year, 5 years will have gone by, right? So I don't think it's unfair to say that 5 years from the Joker's perspective, like within the narrative of the story, it's possible that 5 years may have gone by since Suicide Squad. So by the time that Jared Leto's Joker appears in Justice League movie, I think he's going to be just tired. I think he will, like, being a crime boss and being a villain and being an agent of chaos is time consuming and it's exhausting. It's exhausting. And I think Zack Snyder realizes that. And I think that's where this road-weary version of Joker is going to come from. I think we're going to get a lot of the same elements that we got in the 2016 Suicide Squad version of Joker, but just updated and be like, wow, like, I love what I do. This is great, but I'm tired. Like, I'm weathered. I think the character of Joker will have changed a little bit. Is he going to be the mob boss that he was in the Suicide Squad movie? Maybe, maybe not. We'll just have to wait and find out and see what that is. But I think the big question is for you guys: what does a road-weary version of the Joker mean to you? What do you think this Joker is going to be like? What do you like? How? Having seen and having 3 years to sit with the Justice League movie, and knowing that there are changes happening, there's going to be a 4-hour version of Justice League. How is Joker? What are your thoughts? How is Joker going to fit into this world of the Justice League, into the narrative of the Justice League? What do you think he's going to look like? What do you think he's going to sound like? What do you think his narrative purpose is going to be? Jump on down to the comment section below and let me know those thoughts. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you like this video, click like. If you really like this video, click subscribe. And if you really, really like this video, click share. Because that is exactly what Batman from the animated series would want you to do. His name is Batman.